Hi, welcome to Breathe Better with Elizabeth. I'm Elizabeth. I get asked all the time whether or not bloating is a symptom of COPD. So I thought that I would put together a little video to help explain this. The short answer is yes, but it's not necessarily that the COPD itself causes bloating, but the two are very closely related, and I'm going to show you how. So there is one direct link that I can think of between COPD and bloating, and that is if you also have sleep apnea and wear a CPAP or a BiPAP at night. These can cause you to get extra air in your stomach, and it can cause bloating. So we'll put CPAP on here, and that can cause bloating. Now, something that both COPD and bloating in general have in common is inflammation. So let me write this on here. So inflammation is a major component in COPD and bloating. So it's a component of COPD and it's a component of bloating. But neither one necessarily causes the inflammation causes it, okay? There is another link, and that is anxiety. So this one is probably a little confusing to you, so I'm going to go into detail here. COPD can cause anxiety, and that is because your body gets used to being in that mode where it's constantly having to fight for air. So it will stay in an anxious mode, and it actually will cause anxiety. So if you are not being treated for the anxiety, then you will also have more symptoms related to the anxiety. So even though COPD can cause anxiety, anxiety can also cause shortness of breath that's going to hinder your COPD symptoms. So it's kind of a back and forth arrow there. Now, once your body is in an anxious state, from bouts of shortness of breath, your body will tend to stay in that state longer than it should. So your body the nervous system has two modes, which I'm sure you've heard of this. It has the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. Now, the sympathetic is your fight or flight. I'm gonna write it down here. This is the fight or flight. Which once again, COPD causes your body to stay in the sympathetic part of the nervous system for longer than what it should, okay? And now we're gonna do the parasympathetic. Okay, so the sympathetic is fight or flight. The parasympathetic is called rest and digest. So here is the big problem with your body staying in fight or flight mode. For one, like I said, it simply is going to make your COPD symptoms worse, and that's because it causes increased heart rate, increased work of breathing, and it'll just get you in that spiral of not being able to breathe and getting more anxious. Also, your body cannot be in both of these modes at the same time. So if you're in flight or fight, you can't be in rest and digest. Here's the big problem with that, is that your body needs the rest and digest to literally digest food, okay? So that is going to cause some major bloating if that is not under control. If your food does not digest, your stomach's going to swell. It's going to push up on your rib cage, which is going to lessen the amount of movement that your lungs can have. And that is going to have a negative effect on the COPD because you're going to have a hard time breathing, okay? So there's a lot going on here, and I know it looks very complicated. So treating it, obviously, is going to be more complicated than just simply taking some medicine for bloating. Because what you're going to be doing, you're going to be treating the symptom of bloating, but you are not going to be treating what is actually causing the bloating, okay? So, a couple things that you can do here. One major thing that you can do to help this is decrease the amount of anxiety in your life. So, how are you going to do that? It's easier said than done. But you can talk to a mental health professional, talk to a doctor about it, let them walk you through different strategies to not be so anxious. You can also do meditation. It's very helpful with anxiety. Meditation also will help with your COPD. Breathing exercises. Breathing exercises, same thing. They're going to help your anxiety and they're going to help your COPD. And then there's also medication. And I know that a lot of people don't want to get put on a medication if they don't have to, and I totally understand that. But I truly believe that for the majority of people, if you can get your anxiety under control, you're going to have less COPD symptoms and you're going to have less bloating, okay? So, you know, there's a good happy medium where meds are concerned. You don't want to take too much and be a zombie, obviously, but there are lots of medications on the market for anxiety that do not actually alter your mood. They just literally help you so that you're not so anxious. So that's a couple of things you can do from that end. Now, from bloating in general, there are things that you can do. And the main thing is to change your diet. You want to cut out carbonated drinks, cut out carbonated drinks, cut out fried food, you also want to stay away from foods that can cause excess gas, like broccoli, beans, Brussels sprouts is another one. So if you don't want to cut these all the way out, because these are also good for you, just do them in moderation. Another thing that you can do, if you're going to be eating something that you know is going to cause gas, go ahead and take a gas pill before you eat. That way, that can help cut down the problem before it starts. Let's see if there's anything else on here. Oh, okay, a simple one is just eat slower. And you also want to break down your meals into smaller meals. This is going to give your body more time to digest. So instead of eating 3 large meals a day, try to break those up. Just eat every several hours so that your body can have time to digest everything and you don't get stuffed. You never want to eat so much that you feel full, okay? Because you're gonna be full before your brain tells you that you're full and your body tells you that you're full. So never eat until you're full, okay? Because like I said, you're full before that. Now, another thing, okay, so over here, we've got ways to decrease the anxiety, which will help with COPD symptoms as well as bloating. Down here, we have things that you can do just to help the bloating. And now we have inflammation is just hanging out over here. So COPD does not necessarily cause inflammation, and neither does bloating. But it just happens to be a key factor in both of these. So inflammation, as it relates to COPD, actually causes increased bronchoconstriction. So you have less air movement and you have more mucus that's produced. So that's how it affects COPD. Now, inflammation in the intestines is going to cause the gas, the bloating, constipation, stuff like that. So if we can help control the inflammation, we can help control the COPD and the bloating, okay? So this is another way that you can tackle both of these. Inflammation can be caused by numerous things. So I say focus on things that you can eliminate from your diet that you know cause inflammation. And then you can even take an anti-inflammatory. There are lots of awesome like herbal teas that have natural anti-inflammatories in them, and those are awesome. But you want to stay away from, once again, fried foods. Sugar. Gluten for some people, not everybody swells with gluten, okay? But for many, many people, it does cause inflammation in your body. So you can go on like a little no gluten trial, just see if it makes you feel any better. But that is something that if you have a gluten allergy, that's really gonna cause a lot of problems. Processed meats. So this is going to be your lunch meat, anything that has nitrates in it, which they're starting to come out with some meat that does not have that in there, that is like cold cuts. But if it doesn't say no nitrates on it, then it has them, okay? And what that is something that's added to it to keep it from going bad. Your body sees that as something that's not supposed to be in it, so it causes inflammation throughout your body. So the processed meats, and then also the processed foods. So you want to try to cut out the things that come in packages like cookies, potato chips, the mac and cheese that comes in a box, just various things like that. Anything that is just ready for you to eat, if it does not say like organic, nothing in there is processed, then you probably should try to cut that out of your diet. So as you can see, I tried to answer the question for you about whether or not bloating is common with COPD, and it is. And there are numerous reasons for that. But I suggest just tackling it one little bit at a time. And then once you're covering all of these things, I'm almost positive that you're gonna notice a much better body, period. When you have COPD, you really do have to treat your entire body, not just your lungs. And this is just an example of that. But as always, if you like my video, then give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. You can ask me any questions underneath in the comments. Thanks.